I am officially ending the second trimester of pregnancy, and today I am going to share a recap of what my experience has been like over the past several weeks. For me, this has been such a sweet spot, and I have felt so much better than I did throughout the first trimester. Over the past several weeks, the baby bump has officially popped, but I haven't quite gotten to the point of being just completely uncomfortable yet. So it's been really great. I am really thankful and I have soaked in this time. We tackled a lot during the second trimester. Our big pregnancy milestone was baby's anatomy scan. But outside of prenatal appointments, we also tackled tons of house projects. For the first trimester, I did a week-by-week recap, and I was feeling pretty crummy during that time, so I took some pretty good notes. I did not take near as detailed notes for the second trimester, so I am just going to go through my camera roll, and we will relive the past several weeks that way and talk through what it was like. We had a prenatal appointment the first official week of the second trimester, and this was actually our first appointment that we had with the actual provider that we were hoping for. We got to see the midwife for the first time at 13 weeks, and we felt so relieved. We didn't necessarily have a bad experience with our first prenatal appointment, but Donnie and I both just felt that the nurse practitioner we saw was not going to be the right fit for the rest of the pregnancy. So we were really looking forward to this second appointment and getting to meet the midwives that we had heard so many good things about. And we left that appointment feeling amazing. We had so much peace about our decision, and we just felt very comfortable with using this midwife for our prenatal care. Symptom-wise, I was feeling tons better going into the second trimester. The nausea, gagging, some of that stuff was still there, but it was significantly better than it had been. And I was starting to get just a smidge of energy back, which was amazing. And it just made me feel a little bit more human again. I specifically wrote down that at 14 weeks, I started having more vivid dreams again. I had really vivid dreams at the beginning of pregnancy, and they kind of faded through the first trimester. But randomly, around 14 weeks, there was this window that I had very, very vivid dreams again. They were not related to pregnancy or the baby, and not at all realistic. So I woke up super confused many mornings around that time, just because I was having such weird and vivid dreams. Also at 14 weeks, Donnie and I found out the gender of our baby. We were back and forth throughout most of early pregnancy, trying to decide when we wanted to find out, how we wanted to find out, and I am so happy with how it all played out. From the start, I wasn't really feeling a big gender reveal. And then as the time came that we would have been trying to plan and do something like that, there ended up being a lot going on family-wise. So it really just kind of worked out and confirmed what I was already sort of leaning toward. It was actually the week of my birthday, and we randomly decided to take a sneak peek test. We weren't really in a huge rush to find out. Of course, we were excited, but we really hadn't decided what our plan was for it. But ultimately, we were like, we can get the results and then we'll just have them for whenever the opportunity presents itself. That really was impressively painless. It really felt like pressure. I didn't feel anything going actually into my arm. It does kind of burn now, but also that heat pad was on my arm for so long, and I scrubbed my arm with that exfoliating brush. I did double the time, and I was like scrubbing so hard trying to get it like extra clean. So I think that it's kind of burning just from me irritating it. So anyway, I've got it ready and I'm gonna run it to the post office right now. So I took the test. The results came in the day after my birthday, and we decided, let's just open them. It was so special and so sweet. We truly did not care what we were having. We were just so excited to get to know a little bit more about this person and finding out that we are having a daughter was just so exciting. At 15 weeks, we were able to schedule a gender confirmation ultrasound, so we did that about a week after Donnie and I found out, just to make sure before we started telling our family and friends the news.
You can see her. She got her little mouth open right now. They look really skinny. They just don't have much fat, in their body yet.
After confirming that she is, in fact, a little girl, we started planning a few mini gender reveal parties. First, we did a sweet reveal with baby's grandparents, uncles, and aunt. They all came over to our house for a little pizza party, and we played the same video that Donnie and I watched on our TV, and everybody found out together. We had pizza. My mother-in-law brought some little gender reveal cupcakes, and we just had a mini party at our house. It was so special to have everybody together and so much fun. We thought we had the whole thing on video, but after the party was over, everyone had gone home. We realized that it didn't record, and I was so sad, but it's okay. It was still such a sweet moment and something that I will never forget. During this time, my grandpa was also very sick, and planning things was just a little bit difficult. The weekend after our little gender reveal here at home was actually Easter, so we already had several family gatherings planned, which worked out perfectly. We used that opportunity and had so much fun sharing the news about our sweet little girl.
What are you counting to? Three. Do it.
Another weird symptom I started having around 15 to 16 weeks was nosebleeds. I didn't even know that that was a common pregnancy symptom, but sure enough, I woke up one morning and just started having all of these random nosebleeds. Thankfully, it didn't last that long, but it was probably 3 or 4 days of several nosebleeds throughout the day. Really random and weird, but apparently that is a common second trimester symptom. In week 16, my grandpa actually passed away, so the time just before and just after that is a little bit of a blur, but I do remember that we pushed back our regular appointment that was scheduled for week 16 because of the funeral services. That was a very crazy and very emotional time, but we definitely saw God's hands at work all around us. I'm not going to go into the details, but I am just very thankful with how timing of things worked out and that we were able to share a little gender reveal with my grandpa before he passed away. At 18 weeks, we had another appointment and got to meet the second out of the 3 midwives in the group that we are seeing. It was another really great experience, and again, it just confirmed that we feel like we made the right choice in providers. We got back on track with regular appointments at 20 weeks with our anatomy scan. After such an emotional several weeks prior, it was so much fun to see our girl again. The anatomy scan is a big pregnancy milestone though, and I think probably a pretty nerve-wracking experience for most parents to be. The anxiety kind of makes sense to me. I mean, when you're creating a human from scratch, there's a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong. We got a little taste of this with the anatomy scan. Our girl is very active and she was mostly cooperative, but she would not stay still to get photos of her heart. We ended up having to have 3 anatomy scans and a visit to a specialist before coming to the conclusion that our girl is healthy, just very, very active. Everyone was really great and reassuring throughout that whole process, but it was still just a very anxiety-filled time. We are so thankful that everything has continued to look good since then, and we have had so much peace knowing that God is forming every tiny little part of this girl into exactly who He intends her to be. I am almost 25 weeks pregnant, and we are about to head out to go to our doctor's appointment. She is really growing. She has grown so much since 20 weeks. You could just see it in the bump. I had not had the pop that everybody talks about at 20 weeks, and in between then and now I have. It's very clear that she's in there and that she is growing like crazy. I do have an anterior placenta, so it took me a little bit longer to feel her. Really, I feel like I still felt her reasonably early, but it was very faint, just little flutters, and nothing that Donnie could feel until about a week and a half or so ago. We were sitting on the couch and we finally got one that was strong enough that he could feel. And just since then, she has gotten so much bigger, so much stronger, and if your hands are in the right spot, you can definitely feel her. Anyway, it's pretty much time for us to leave, so let's go ahead and get to this appointment. Hello.
Hello.
Morning Chick-fil-A stop. Did you see that? She either knows she's about to get some Chick-fil-A or that we're about to try to look at her. Going down. She's still cute, still growing, still moving all the time. Still likes her hands at her face. All right, we're done.
We are done.
You got to pee.
What?
This girl loves to have her hands at her face, and every picture of her face that we've got so far includes her hands, whether she's sucking her thumb or just has her hands nestled up by her face. And today we got the first picture of her profile that was free of hands. As soon as the tech saved the photo, she stuck her hands right back up and we got to watch her sucking her thumb, and it was just, oh, the cutest. After the ultrasound, we saw the midwife, and we are both so happy with our decision to go with this group of midwives for care. We have met all three of them now, and they are all so great. They have all been really easy to talk to. Anything that we've brought up, they have been so willing to talk through it with us and just really understanding and accommodating what we want. It just gives us both so much peace, because that is not that common in healthcare right now, and we are so thankful for this group of midwives. Throughout the second trimester, we were also tackling several house projects. We decluttered, cleaned, organized, emptied the guest room so we could transition it into baby's room, swapped a step-in shower for a tub in our bathroom, organized closets, added storage and shelving to our living room. Just lots of projects. We actually started these projects earlier than we had originally planned, and I am so glad. We started with the messiest projects, which was totally the way to go. We were still early enough on in pregnancy that I did not feel totally overwhelmed by the project or by the mess at that point. And I know that if we had waited longer, I probably would not have coped nearly as well. It feels so good ending the second trimester with most of the big projects done, and I just feel a lot more relaxed than I think I would have otherwise, and a lot more prepared than I think I would have otherwise. Now, at the end of the second trimester, that fantastic burst of energy is fading. Heartburn has set in, and I can just tell that we're getting there. Those third trimester symptoms are creeping in, and it's about to get real fun again. Overall, the second trimester was pretty great physically. It was very emotional, and it was productive. So a little bit of a roller coaster, but I am so thankful to have had a relatively smooth pregnancy so far. Hopefully that continues into the third trimester, but we're just taking it a day at a time, and pretty soon we will be welcoming this little girl into the world.